Real quick before we get into today's video, just want to thank the people over on Patreon who have taken the time out to help support the channel, and just got to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your support. Once I start offering memberships and figure out what to offer for memberships on this channel, I'll start adding the names of YouTube members as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the review. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys a review for Boruto episode 181. And episode 181 is done and in the books, and hands down this is the first episode in a long time I can actually sit here and say this is a 9 out of 10 episode. This is very good. If you're somebody that has checked out the Boruto anime for quite a long time, watch the new opening and then jump into this episode. This is actually really good, man. I would recommend checking out the car actuation arc. I would just say the hell with those hidden haze ninja. But the thing is that this episode, if you read the manga, we got the end of chapter 15 finally adapted, and then we got the entirety of chapter 16 adapted. This was a welcome sight because the anime takes little small liberties and it completely fleshes out the story in ways that I wish the manga would do something like this. Like, you guys who are fans of the manga content and people who watch my reviews on the manga know that I'm very quick to point out that the manga has a lot of flaws, and the anime, they made the right choice in the sense like the anime gives you the full sense of the story, because they did small stuff in the meeting with the car members that we didn't get that sense in the manga. Like, a perfect example is in this episode, in just a few frames, they did more for Code's personality than Code has done in the entire manga. We have a better sense of his character now than we had before. Like, hands down, this man Code's gotta go. This man's gotta go, man. Yo, the way Code was just sitting up there like, yo, Victor, you screwed up, homeboy. The way that he's doing that, and the way that when Jigen starts getting irritated, this man Code looks over at Victor and he's like, yo, and then he whistles. This man's gotta go, man. This man is a freaking troll, and I love it, man. I absolutely love it, man. Like, I like the little small extra lines of dialogue that they put in there. You get an opportunity to hear all the members of Car, and it was so beautiful. Like, they got the voices, man. Like, you know, with the character Code, like, you had an idea he might have a little bit of troll elements in him in the way that he smirked at Delta, but actually seeing this stuff type of confirmed in the anime was absolutely beautiful, man. Like, they did little small stuff to this to where they definitely rewarded manga readers. Like, this is how you do an anime adaptation. Like, we got, like I said, the back half of chapter 15 where the members of Car are finally meeting and talking about the vessel, and then you get the whole entirety of chapter 16. And even though they added stuff like actually seeing Kashin Koji meet with Jigen directly after this, after he basically has Victor invited to the barbecue and Victor finds out that he's the main dish at the barbecue, like, I love that little small addition. I like the small addition of where we find out that Deepa isn't actually dead in the sense, because Amato was able to recreate his brain. And so that goes back to what I said a while back. Like, I think even my man Dragon Ball Dad had a really good line on Twitter, right? Like, I had tweeted something and I think Dragon Ball Dad had said something right after that, and he was just like, man, you know, the way that Jigen was looking over there at Victor when Victor was talking, he said it reminded him of his wife when his wife would ask him something, she already knew the answer and she was pissed off. Like, the way that you had that man Jigen looking over at Victor, I said in my review and I said on Twitter, I said, like, yo, Victor screwed up. That's because Amato was already recreating the brain of Deepa to fact check everything that this man said. So I like how Victor, he keeps trying to show he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's getting played the entire time. I like how they're playing like the big brain chess games between Amato and Victor. This was the ultimate checkmate right here. And I like how even Victor starts sweating a little bit. He's like, man, I really don't need to go up against what Jigen's asking me, but that's all right. I already got data on the vessel, and if that man Kashin Koji was there, I'd have sniped this dude off. You know, he really act like one of these people that talk all this shit in private chats on Discord and everything and in Twitter DMs, but when they get out in public, they don't have none of that energy. Kashin Koji shows up and says, you did what to me? I love that moment right there, and I love how you just see the hand signs being weaved, and I like how, you know, when he uses the flames of purgatory, I know the anime in terms of the subtitles called it something else. I'm gonna call it the flames of purgatory because that's what I'm used used to calling it based on the manga translation, but dude, the same thing still applies here. They burn so damn quickly that Victor's regeneration can't keep up. We've seen how quickly Victor is able to regenerate on a rapid rate, so that lets you know how overpowered these flames are. And just to go back to that car meeting a little bit before I go into the Naruto versus Boruto stuff, I love how you get the small touches like Kashin Koji kneeling in front of Jigen. That's stuff we didn't see in the manga. Just little small things they did to further establish the hierarchy and to give you more of a sense of what's going on. I like the little small touches they put on there. That was really good. Now, with that being said though, the Naruto versus Boruto stuff, boy was this a treat to see father versus son in a real fight. This was so enjoyable to watch. I've been waiting to see this fight animated for so long, man. I feel like it's been like 89,000 years since I first read this in the manga. Hands down, I like the small additions they made, and I've said it before, I like when they just ignore Ikimoto's action panels and just do their own thing for a little bit. And they did add in some extra scenes to this fight. Now, they did pick up the key elements of the Naruto versus Boruto stuff, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with it because I feel like they did the little small things that the manga did not do. I thought the incorporation of flashbacks really worked extremely well for this. Like, I like how you get the build up where you see all those different gaining, and it looks like academy students are watching as Boruto and Naruto are taking place in their father-son sparring match. And I like the build up for it where you see some of the Chunin sitting in the background watching. You see how Mitsuki is giving Boruto like a little bit of a pep talk saying, hey, are you nervous? And then you just get Boruto's flashbacks and you just see how much this means to him. And that's why I mean, this is a perfect example. I say show don't tell. Like if Boruto just said like, hey, you know, I get a chance to make up for everything that happened in the past, it doesn't hit as hard as when you show us the flashbacks. Even though it's stuff we've already seen, when you show us the flashbacks of the scene, it makes that scene hit a whole lot harder because you're giving more substance to it. So I thought that was good. That was a good usage of flashbacks right there. Very good usage of flashbacks. And what I will say too is one beautiful thing that you get out of all of this is it adds more weight to Boruto's need and desire, but most importantly his need to prove himself as being a capable and worthy shinobi, because Boruto for the longest time wanted to establish himself as being somebody who is his own ninja. He's not just the Hokage's son. He wants to establish himself as being worthy of being Sasuke Uchiha's student. So I think the little small things they did here absolutely worked very well for helping Boruto in terms of making how important this fight is to him, making it resonate with the viewers. And Naruto is well aware of how strongly Boruto desires that open acknowledgement, and I like how the anime is doing little small things to actually show you that Naruto is very much in tune with his son's desires, and this is just as much for Naruto being a father as it is Naruto as a Hokage. That kind of goes back to what I've been talking about before with the Sasuke Shinden novel. Everything that Naruto's done in regards to Boruto has been because he wants Boruto to train and get stronger on his own. He wants to motivate him, and so I like how the anime alludes to that in his conversation with Shikamaru. The same thing with Boruto's closed-minded thinking when it comes to scientific ninja weapons tools. That's something that the Sasuke Shinden novel actually touches on, which is why I'm covering that novel right now on the channel. But I gotta say, in the actual fight, the small touches they added where Boruto's using the shadow clones as the diversions, and Boruto and Naruto have the Rasengan clash together, and you see like the little small stuff where Boruto uses the Boruto stream. Very small additions like that work very well. And I gotta say, I like one scene in particular where Boruto uses those Uchiha style lightning shuriken attacks. That was very nice to see. I like that because you see Sasuke standing in the background watching the entire thing, and it just shows you that Boruto has grown. And it goes back to what I said in the manga when this happened way back, I think in 2017, once this started happening, either 2017, I want to say it's 2017. I said way back then, like, hey man, you know, Boruto, it looks like he's been training with Sasuke off screen, and we know in the Sasuke Shinden novel that there was some training that took place, but I gotta say, you see Boruto's growth very well. Everything up to this point, from the battles with Deepa, with the training with Kakashi, and in the training that happens in the Sasuke Shinden, the Teacher Star Pupil novel, all of those elements right there, you see everything kind of culminate, and you just see how Boruto right now, Boruto has improved as a battle tactician when it comes to how he handles himself in combat. And the one thing I would have liked to have actually seen a little bit more is, I believe Naruto in the manga says that that's a nice Rasengan that you got there, and I think that they cut that portion out of this actual 1 versus 1 thing in the Boruto anime. But the fact of the matter is that Boruto's pulling off some really impressive stuff in this actual fight. I like how this fight shows you that Naruto is in complete control of the fight, as he should be. He's the literal Kage of the village, fighting against a Genin. Granted, this is a Genin who is extremely skilled. The guy has 3 changes in chakra nature. To put this into perspective, you have some Jonin that only have 2. I know for certain, I want to say it's volume 34, but way back then, it was stated that change in chakra nature training is a difficult level of training, and that once you get to a Jonin level, Jonin that know multiple changes in chakra nature are viewed as being extremely skilled. So for Boruto to have progressed to this level is very impressive. Don't get that mistaken, it's very impressive. So for Naruto to be able to see his son actually perform the different changes in chakra nature that he was boasting and bragging about way back in the versus Momoshiki arc, I like how Naruto gets to see that up close and personal. That wasn't cap that Boruto was given to Naruto when he said, I can use wind, lightning, and water release. So I thought that that was a nice little tidbit that they threw in there, and I thought that it was very important for Naruto to actually see the skill of his son. And I like how Naruto uses the Earth style jutsu, the Earth style mud wall jutsu to block it, and the anime does little small touches, right? It does little small touches to show this. Like when Naruto starts weaving the hand signs, they do it just slow enough to where you see Naruto form the hand signs for Earth release. Like if you guys don't know, when it comes to changes in chakra nature, there are specific hand signs that are associated with the changes in chakra nature, and the anime gave you that small touch where you see the one associated with Earth release just before it happens. I absolutely popped when I saw that. I absolutely popped. So that was pretty damn cool. And that's when Naruto shows up behind Boruto, and Naruto tags Boruto with one stern kick. He knocks Boruto onto the ground, therefore he actually wins the fight. So I thought that this was very much needed for Boruto's character, and it's the perfect setup for what you see when Sasuke confronts Boruto in the office, when Boruto is getting onto Naruto for using the scientific ninja weapon tool. Sasuke at first thinks that, okay, Boruto doesn't understand, but then he calls Boruto out and says, so you do truly understand the truth that scientific ninja weapons tools, they're not inherently evil. It's just like ninjutsu. It really depends on how you actually use them, and it's essentially just Boruto being a brat, which I'm okay with. Boruto is a child at this point, so it makes sense that he still has childish tendencies. I'm completely okay with that. That's part of his actual growth. And for Boruto, when it comes to scientific ninja weapon tech, the reason why he's holding on to such a negative viewpoint of them is what happened to him being embarrassed in front of the village like that. That's a traumatic experience. It was something of his own doing, and it's not anything near the level of trauma that Sasuke went through via the Uchiha massacre, or the trauma that Naruto went through as the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox. It's nowhere near on that level. It's actually something that's probably a few steps higher than Sakura getting bullied for having a huge forehead as a child. But when you get a moment like that during your developmental years as a preteen or as a teenager, it does kind of shape you to a certain extent. That's something that is going to affect a child for a lengthy period in time after, and they're going to harbor some ill will to an extent. So I thought that this was a humanistic moment for Boruto, and those of you guys who have read the Owl arc or the Vessel arc of the Boruto manga, you guys know why this is such an important scene. Now, in closing, I thought thought that the Konohamaru and Mujino portion where they're investigating the airship, I thought that that was a nice place to actually end the episode right there. And I like how the anime in that moment, it actually shows you that Konohamaru might have actually discovered something else that manga readers should know what I'm referring to. Konohamaru does discover something in the wreckage of the airship where the vessel is located that is very important. So I thought that that was a nice place to end the actual episode. My episode question to you guys, I've actually got two of them. So number one, how do you guys feel about Boruto's reaction to the scientific ninja weapons tools? Is he justified in his reactions? And then my second question to you guys is, between the growth that Boruto showed as a ninja in that sparring match and between the extra additions of what you've seen with the car organization in this episode, which one are you more impressed with? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching on to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.